Welcome everybody to your Talking Takeover review for NXT Takeover 25. This is being recorded and hopefully released on 6/2/2019. So this is going to be the review for Takeover 25. No precursor to like where the show is taking place. It was just strictly known as Takeover 25. And for the 25th takeover, something that I've always said about these takeover shows is that they're so good and each one just seems to be better than the last. This was no different. Some people may say that the main event wasn't that good compared to even the last match or maybe like the takeover main event before that. I would still say this was overall a great show. If you want my opinion on it, I know some people may not care. This came so close after Double or Nothing with AEW. Some people are trying to compare AEW's Double or Nothing to this NXT TakeOver show. If I had to give my opinion on it, I would say that TakeOver was better than Double or Nothing, which is not to say that Double or Nothing wasn't great. I thought Double or Nothing was great in and of itself. But, if I had to choose between watching the two, I would pick NXT TakeOver over Double or Nothing, just because NXT TakeOver has more matches that I would care about. Really, which is not a knock on these competitors. Really, I didn't really care about any of the tag team matches on Double or Nothing. Mostly the matches that I cared about were Cody and Dustin, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, and kind of sort of the Battle Royal, because I wanted to see who would win it. Other than that, Double or Nothing didn't really interest me that much. I went back and watched the whole show. I thought it was great. Kind of long, but nevertheless, still great. NXT TakeOver, I just got done watching it on Hulu, so if you guys have Hulu and you're thinking about canceling your network subscription to WWE and you're worried that you won't be able to watch NXT or the TakeOver events, no worries, they'll be on Hulu. It's just that you have to wait a day and then the next day you'll be able to watch it. So I just got done watching TakeOver. Great show. I want to get right into it here. So the show kicked off with a nice video package talking about all of the past TakeOver events, and that led us into our opening matchup, Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle. I had Roderick Strong coming out with the win here. The match kicks off with Matt Riddle kicking his flip-flops into Roderick Strong's face, which was a pretty good use of Matt Riddle's whole thing with his flip-flops. This match, I rarely had any notes for it just because I was keeping my eyes on the screen, so I never really got a chance to write anything down. So my basic notes for this match are hard strikes, suplex on the apron by Roderick Strong to Matt Riddle, which, if you guys didn't know, is the hardest part of the ring. But they may not tell you that. It's kind of a secret. They don't really like to say it a lot. Roderick Strong hits some nice stiff elbows. We had a bro to sleep, or go to sleep, GTS by Matt Riddle. We got a powerbomb and knee strike combination. Roderick Strong tries to use the stronghold at one point, but the ending of the match comes when Matt Riddle locks him in this like neutralizer style. So think Cesaro's finisher, the neutralizer. He has him locked, but it's in the tombstone pile driver position. So he has him in the tombstone, but then he locks his hands like he's about to hit a neutralizer, and then that leads to the 3 count and the win. Matt Riddle is your winner. Like I said, I predicted Roderick Strong would win, possibly with help from Undisputed Era, depending on where this matchup was in the card. Matt Riddle winning still doesn't make me mad. I was okay with either man winning, but if Matt Riddle is going to be the next challenger for the NXT title, which seemingly seems to be the case here with what happened in the main event, it would make sense for Matt Riddle to win. I don't think Roderick Strong loses anything by losing here. In fact, I think it might make the main event outcome more interesting here with Roderick Strong losing and Adam Cole winning the NXT Championship. Spoiler, but obviously you guys knew that from the thumbnail. But yeah, Matt Riddle wins. I don't see anything bad about this. So that's your opening matchup. Hell of a matchup to start off the show with. Next up, we have a 4-team ladder match for the NXT Tag Team titles, vacated by the War Raiders. I'm not calling them the other name, or any of the other names, I should say. They vacated the titles, and then we had this whole ladder match set up between the teams. I'm going to see if I can remember them here off the top of my head. The Street Profits, the Forgotten Sons, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and Undisputed Era. That's the one I was missing. I'm surprised I didn't forget the Forgotten Sons, which I had them as my prediction to win. I thought maybe they would be a cool heel tag team for like the baby faces to win, but no, they went straight for the babyface win here. So in this matchup, it was another one of those matchups where it was hard to write notes, so I have very few notes, but some of the big moments came. There was like a lot of instances where Kyle O'Reilly just felt like he was gonna die, and apparently some people are saying he lost a tooth, in which case, good God, do not smile at Vince like that, otherwise he will automatically give you a friggin' hillbilly gimmick. Hopefully O'Reilly, if so, can do a southern accent. But yeah, O'Reilly got like power bombed into a ladder, and Fish fell off the ladder onto him. And then Mauro Ranallo had this line from South Park of, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny," which I thought was freaking awesome. So later on, this is when the match really starts to pick up. Later on, Kyle O'Reilly is about to climb up the ladder, and on the stage, Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons comes out, and he lays out everybody, and then everybody starts to pummel him and take him out, and like I believe there was like something that came out a while ago where Triple H gave Jackson Riker some notes of like, act like the Terminator, so people will still hit you and stuff, but you just keep coming back. And this was a perfect instance of that. There were dives everywhere, and ladders getting used, and Jackson Riker just kept coming back like the Terminator. He instantly started getting taken out. I think a ladder got thrown at all of the Forgotten Sons at one point. But then at another point, it seemed like the Forgotten Sons were going to win the tag team titles. Everybody else was laid out, and the crowd started booing, and I was happy. I was like, yes, these guys are perfect heels. I like this whole Forgotten Sons gimmick. If they win the tag team titles, they can have this whole gimmick of like, we're forgotten no more. But ultimately, it wasn't to be, because the Street Profits came back in. Angelo Dawkins hit a big spear, and then Montez Ford springboards to the ladder out of nowhere, knocks the other Forgotten Son off the top of the ladder, grabs both titles, and your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions are the Street Profits, which I'm not mad with that outcome either. It's going to be interesting to see who challenges them for the tag team titles. I could see the Forgotten Sons as their next contenders. I think they're a great team. I can't remember, was it the Street Profits that the Forgotten Sons beat in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic to advance on? I can't remember who it was, but if so, that's an interesting story to tell. I think the Forgotten Sons have gotten a hell of a lot better. I'm still into their gimmick. You know, some people think it's kind of stupid or that they're just boring wrestlers. Kind of like Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy back when they were tag team champions, just people weren't really that crazy about them. I would instantly think that the Forgotten Sons would be a cool team to have the titles, so it'll be interesting to see what route they go in. But there could be another tag team that hasn't been introduced on NXT TV, and I'll get into that right here, right now, because your next matchup is Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze. Now, in a conference call, Triple H said that Tyler Breeze is now back on the NXT roster, full-time, or was it full-time that he said? I don't know. He said he was back on the NXT roster, which is great. He didn't win the North American title here, spoiler, but it's interesting that he's back on NXT, and on the WWE PC YouTube channel, they put out a video with Tyler Breeze's tag team partner, Fandango. What I'm thinking is, if Fandango also goes to NXT, that would be an awesome tag team to have the Fashion Police on NXT TV. Think about it. Bringing back the Fashion Files and having it NXT style. There are a lot of people in NXT they could have skits with, like Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah. You know, they're all about fashion and stuff. Kona Reeves, you could have some fun stuff with them. I don't know if I'm missing out on anybody. Velveteen Dream, he's kind of an obvious one. But, you know, the Fashion Police versus the Street Profits for the NXT Tag Team titles would be a great matchup. And NXT's Tag Team division is kind of barren, except for the Forgotten Sons. Oni Lorcan is on 205 Live, so I don't know if we'll be seeing a lot of that. And where else do you have? Imperium from NXT UK. I can't really see them on NXT TV. So anyways, the match begins, and Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream are battling. They're doing some crazy stuff. At one point, they battle to the outside, and Dream hits a super kick on the outside, and he starts driving Tyler Breeze's head into the announcer's table. He goes over and grabs Tyler Breeze's phone and starts taking selfies with him and the championship, but Tyler Breeze fights him off. He takes advantage, throws Dream back in the ring, and he's laying on the announce table cover, and he looks over at the North American title, and he's like, I gotta win this. I gotta stay in NXT. I can't go back to Vince on Monday Night Raw. I can't be jobbing out every week. So he gets back in the ring. The match continues. At one point, Breeze hits the Unprettier, Dream hits the Unprettier, and Breeze kicks out. Breeze hits the Beauty Shot, the spinning heel kick, and Dream falls to the outside. And Tyler Breeze tells the referee, do not count him out. And he goes over to try and get Dream back in the ring, and Dream tries to use the North American title as a weapon, but Tyler Breeze is able to counter, get it out of his hands, and it distracts him enough for Velveteen Dream to get back in the ring, hit a Dream Valley driver, and hit the Purple Rainmaker elbow for the win. Some people were kind of mad about this, but I have a counter argument. Velveteen Dream has always been a heel. It's just that people like him. So he's a heel that people like. It's kind of like Adam Cole. When Dream does stuff like this, where he cheats to win or does something snarky or rude to win, it's still within his character. So some people getting mad here, like, why would Dream do this? Is this a heel turn? No, it's not a heel turn. It's just Velveteen Dream doing his gimmick. So Dream winning with the help of distracting Tyler Breeze with the North American title, it's not really out of his realm of possibility. I thought this was a good way to end the match. It still leaves the story open-ended, although with the ending here, after the matchup, Dream and Tyler Breeze take a selfie together. That still makes me think maybe this story's over, but with the outcome, with Dream using the title as a distraction, I could definitely see this feud continuing. But, there are some new challengers coming. For instance, after this matchup, we had a promo for Damian Priest, the former Punishment Martinez, which was pretty cool. I remember seeing Punishment Martinez at the NXT house show that I saw in the first WRESTLEDUDE doc. If you guys want to watch that, I'll link it at the end of this review. But yeah, I thought he was pretty cool at that house show. I'm interested to see what it's gonna be like when he's on NXT TV regularly. He's one of those big guys that's also very agile, like Keith Lee or Cassius Ohno or Dominik Dijakovic. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays, not only with those bigger guys, but once he goes to either Raw or SmackDown, how he fares in that whole sense. And the name Damian Priest, it still seems pretty cool. Punishment Martinez, it's a name that people recognize, but, I feel like Damian Priest will get used to that, seemingly how I've finally gotten used to saying Dominik Dijakovic. Fudge! Dominik Dijakovic. There we go. Okay, like I said, I'm still getting used to it. The next matchup was for the NXT Women's Championship. Io Shirai versus Shayna Baszler. I had Shayna Baszler for this, which I was correct in. Finally, I got one of these things completely correct. So the matchup starts, and they start attacking each other. Shayna Baszler's trying to stomp the arm. The matchup, I didn't really get a lot of notes in the opening bits here, but the matchup starts to ramp up when Io Shirai hits a moonsault to the outside onto Shayna Baszler, and then at this point, Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke start to come out to the ring to help. I always think that Shayna Baszler is like Darth Vader of NXT's women's division, and then Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke are like the stormtroopers, so they just come out to get, they miss shots and then they get attacked, which is what happened here. Candice LeRae, who said to Io Shirai before that she would help if Duke and Shafir got involved, they get killed by a kendo stick by Candice LeRae, so it kind of was like Star Wars Candice with a freaking lightsaber tearing some heads off of some stormtroopers here. Shayna Baszler, though, back in the ring, counters a moonsault and locks in the chokehold, and Io Shirai taps out. Shayna Baszler is your winner. But then after the matchup, Io Shirai snaps, and she takes the kendo stick to Shayna Baszler and kills Shayna Baszler with the kendo stick. Goes up to the top rope, asks Candice to hand her a chair, and hits a moonsault with a chair, placed on her stomach. and then nails the moonsault onto Shayna Baszler, and the crowd responds to this with a "You deserve it" chant to Shayna Baszler. So definitely some good heel heat. It's not just like go away heat, so people do hate Shayna for the right reasons. I don't know where this whole story goes with Io Shirai and Shayna Baszler. I don't know. Shayna Baszler is kind of starting to wear off in this whole NXT sense. I know maybe they're just waiting for Duke and Shafir to get a little bit better. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of them lately on any house shows or anything. I don't know if they're getting any better. But if that is the whole reason, that kind of sucks, because Shayna Baszler as women's champion is starting to wear off for me a little bit. But, you know, if they can find some more interesting ways to incorporate her into these different feuds, I'm okay with it. Io Shirai losing here and then snapping, you know, and using that kendo stick, I feel like it could kind of play off, you know. And Candice LeRae, I'm not really a fan of her just being the buddy here. I really hope she gets involved in this title feud, and maybe they can have like a multi-person match, and then you have Mia Yim and Bianca Belair, you know, they want in the women's title picture. So it's going to be interesting to see where the women's division goes from here on out. But Baszler winning, I had her winning. I wasn't going to be happy if she won. I would rather have someone new and then have Baszler go to Raw and feud with Becky Lynch, you know, have that whole Lynch versus UFC person feud again leading into SummerSlam. But you know, I'm not mad with Baszler winning here. It was still a great match. Some people say it was the weakest match on the card. I don't know. It's kind of tied with Breeze and Dream. Just because I knew the outcome to Dream and Breeze was going to be Velveteen Dream winning, I still kind of put those on the same level. But, you know, to each is their own. If you enjoyed this matchup, awesome. If you didn't enjoy this matchup, awesome. I don't know. It means you enjoyed something a hell of a lot more. So, you know, everybody has their own opinion. I thought this was still a great matchup. I'm happy with the outcome that I at least got one prediction on this show right. But yeah, a great NXT Women's title match. Now, if only we could get Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim for the NXT Women's title, and then Mia Yim beats her. Then I'll be happy. That'll be one matchup I'm excited to see one day. Anyways, it's time for your main event of the evening. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole in a rematch from NXT Takeover New York for the NXT Championship. This was not a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. It's one fall to a finish. The matchup, the entrances here, there was some cool stuff even in the entrances. Adam Cole comes out and he's being wrapped to the ring by the guy who runs the whole series of Wrestle and Flow. He got signed to WWE and NXT a while back, which is awesome. This guy who did internet stuff is now a part of NXT. I'm happy that that guy gets to live his dream. Johnny Gargano comes out. Obviously, you know, he has this whole thing of coming out to takeover events dressed as certain superheroes, depending on what the story is. So here he came out dressed up as Captain Marvel, which, going off of tonight's matchup and the matchup in New York, he definitely felt like Captain Marvel with all these like kickouts and stuff. He seemingly felt invincible up until the end. So the matchup starts. A little note that I had here beforehand, Johnny Gargano, they said here, this will be his 14th takeover match that he's had. And to that credit, all of his takeover matches, I have looked back on all of them, and none of them have seemed bad to me. None of the tag team matches, none of the one-on-one matches, all of them have been incredible. So I have never seen a bad takeover match from Johnny Gargano at a takeover event. Obviously, there was that one where it was like, 5.5 stars or 5 stars from Dave Meltzer. I don't really pay attention to those, but to those of you who do, that's still freaking crazy to me. So Adam Cole, at the beginning of the matchup, the match starts, and like early on, Cole is like looking up the ramp for help from the rest of Undisputed Era, and Undisputed Era, to their credit, they never came out during this matchup. And the whole story of this match was Johnny Gargano was working over Adam Cole's arm for the Gargano escape, and Cole was working over Johnny Gargano's leg for no reason. Now, there was some news a little while back that Johnny Gargano may be really injured with his leg, which is why they put him in that tag team match with Matt Riddle a week or two back. It would definitely make sense with the outcome here for Gargano to take some time off with that leg injury and maybe come up to either the main roster or stay in NXT for a little while after he's already healed up. But, you know, it was just kind of interesting for them to have Gargano's leg get targeted throughout this match. But Later on in the match, this was a good story beat. Gargano tries to go for the slingshot spear, but he remembers that Adam Cole tries to hit a super kick at the last time he tried this, so he stops himself as Cole is trying to hit the super kick, so kind of smart playing off of that. And then Gargano is able to hit the slingshot spear later on. And then, even later on in the matchup, there was this awesome, super kick sequence where both men hit each other with super kicks, and then they fought on the outside. There was, a double super kick on the outside. They both break the count and get back in the ring. Gargano hits a slingshot DDT for 2, and then there was just a lot of crazy moves here later on in the matchup. We got the Gargano escape. Adam Cole reversed that into a figure 4, targeting the leg. Gargano got out of that and ends up hitting a Ciampa-style DDT through the ropes, and then Gargano gets Adam Cole on the outside and tries to go for a suicide dive to the outside, but gets caught with a super kick. Perfect timing from Adam Cole, right on the jaw. Cole hits a Panama Sunrise to the outside onto the floor, but only gets a 2 count. Now, some people said that this was too much, and they felt like this should be the ending of the match. I didn't really have a problem with it because there was a lot of time in between the move being hit and Gargano being put back in the ring. I could see him being able to kick out, but it's everybody's got their own opinion. If you didn't like this, that's fine. I was okay with it, so we'll move on. Anyways, later on in the matchup, Adam Cole gets Gargano in the Gargano escape. Gargano is able to counter and hit his own last shot, so Gargano hits Adam Cole with his finisher. Very nice stuff. We kind of saw that earlier with Dream and Tyler Breeze. Gargano hits a super kick and then a reverse Rana combo, but Adam Cole no-sells it, gets right back up and hits a last shot, but only for a 2 count. Adam Cole gets pissed and he grabs a chair from under the ring. The ref tries to grab the chair away. At the same time, Gargano hits a suicide dive, and Cole, I think, pulls the referee in the way of the dive, so we got a ref bump here at crucial point in match cliche. And then Adam Cole tries to use the steel chair against Gargano. Gargano hits a super kick with the chair in the face of Adam Cole, and Gargano gets the pin, but the referee's not there. The whole crowd is chanting the count. I think they counted to 10. So Gargano gets the referee in the ring, and he starts looking up at the stage because he thinks that the Undisputed Era is coming down, but they're not. Gargano gets back up on the apron, and Adam Cole hits this spike pile driver move, but only gets a 2 count. He sets him up for the last shot, but before Gargano gets hit with it, Gargano just slumps over. He's just completely out. And then Adam Cole just starts bad-mouthing Gargano, and Gargano quickly gets him into the Gargano escape, and it looked like Adam Cole was about to tap, but then Adam Cole, very smart, starts to attack Gargano's face. I think he might have raked him in the eyes, and then he starts attacking the hurt leg of Gargano. Adam Cole finally hits the Panama Sunrise, finally hits the last shot, and gets the 3 count. We have a new NXT champion in Adam Cole. Another prediction I got wrong here, because I thought, Gargano just won the title. It would make no sense for them to put the title on Adam Cole at this point. But, it was a long time for Gargano to get the title. It was all about the moment of Gargano finally winning the title. He won the title at New York, and, Ciampa's going to be gone for a year. If they are trying to revisit that feud, it's going to be a long, long time. Oh, you guys can kind of hear my dogs fighting. But, it's time for Gargano to move on. And if this whole story continues with, Undisputed Era and Roderick Strong and Adam Cole fighting over the NXT title, Adam Cole could say, well, I won my match at TakeOver, you lost yours. And then you could have that whole infighting, and it could lead to Adam Cole versus Roderick Strong for the NXT title at some point. I would be down for that kind of feud, and I would be down for Adam Cole, splintering off maybe, or Roderick Strong splintering off into his own person again, and then Gargano, like I said, getting some time off to heal that injury, and then either go to Raw or SmackDown, and then either challenge for the Universal title or the WWE title, or if they want to do a rematch at some point after Gargano's healed up, they could do Adam Cole versus Roderick Strong versus Johnny Gargano. Either way, like I said, I got this prediction wrong. I only got one prediction right, which was Shayna Baszler. Like I said, this was a great matchup. Some people might not have liked all the kickouts, but, to each is their own. So, in recap, we have new tag team champions in the Street Profits. Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai's feud seems to be continuing. Tyler Breeze is back in NXT, and we have a new NXT champion. Am I missing anything? Cardiff, NXT Takeover UK. Cardiff is going to be the same way, or is going to be the same date as All Out. So, and we had the promo for Damian Priest. And also, one of the dark matches, I guess, that they're going to show on next week's NXT TV is Keith Lee versus Kona Reeves, and then Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. So, all in all, great TakeOver show. Like I said, I preferred this over Double or Nothing, but, to each is their own. What did you guys think of this TakeOver event? Let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to watch my vlog of me going to my first live NXT show, you guys can watch that here in just a minute or just a second or two when it pops up. Like I said, TakeOver 25 is great. I have not seen a bad TakeOver in all the 25 that has happened. I still enjoy doing these reviews. Hopefully I can get this up ASAP. Thank you guys for listening or watching or doing whatever. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys at the next TakeOver event. What is the next one? TakeOver Toronto, I believe, is SummerSlam weekend. So I'll see you guys in TakeOver Toronto. Thank you, and have a good day, night, or whatever the hell you're having.